What's up, everybody? Welcome back to this RWBY discussion, this time Volume 8, Episode 14, The Final Word. As always, I'm Connor. With us we have Graham. I fucking said Graham. With us we have Travis.
As Graham. No, Travis, hi. Yeah.
Zach.
Hey.
And Mike. So, first, any first things you want to say about this episode?
I loved 99% of it.
Okay.
I'll say it was a good ending. You know, they had some good setups for what is to come. However, there were, we'll discuss the things that, I didn't exactly like per se in time.
Yeah. Overall, I enjoyed the episode, but I do have some heavy criticism.
I like it. I disagree. I'm like, this is my favorite episode of this volume.
I thought it paled in comparison to the last episode.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the fighting and everything, but yeah, I mean,
Let's hop into it. So this episode starts with something very different, with a content warning. This episode contains themes of death that may be distressing to some viewers. So immediately going in, you know someone's gonna die. But the main reason I bring this up is because get fucked, Jacques!
GG.
Dude, okay.
Didn't get that warning last episode.
I have... Yeah. Well, all right. No, that's fair.
Sure thing.
I didn't understand why they needed to put that goddamn warning on it. I was like, at the very end of it, I was like, who would be so distraught by this?
Mike.
I mean, you'd be like, oh, that sucks. Like, yeah, a character dies. But like,
I heard. No, Mike literally told me. He messaged me privately. He was like, I called them and said, "This is ridiculous."
You called Rooster Teeth?
Lawsuit's been formed.
You called Matt Hollum.
How could you do this to me? I'm your biggest fan.
It's just a trigger warning. That's essentially what it is. But we continue into the episode, and the real official start of the episode, we see Salem reforming. So inevitably, at some point in the episode, she's going to come back.
And the whale, too.
The whale was disintegrating, which brought up a great point.
Disintegrating.
The size of the Grim takes longer to deteriorate.
Perhaps a static rate. Meaning, no, it's fine.
Then we cut to the real heat of the episode. Ironwood and Winter, they're fighting. There's a theme of sacrifice that they're talking about. Ironwood says that he has sacrificed everything, and Winter says he has sacrificed everyone else. It's kind of unfair, but they're both, I think, right. Because Ironwood has sacrificed everything that he has. He sacrificed his life. He sacrificed his body. He's sacrificed everything he can. But he has also sacrificed a lot of other people on the journey to get there.
I was kind of like, so I like, all right. So on that note, so he's like, he also shows another human aspect or humanist aspect, where he's like, no one's grateful, and I'm like, I kind of wish that they would have made. I wish the season would have been longer, because I feel like they probably would have at some point in there included this portion of this, or like humanized him a bit more before they broke him down, because just to add that in there felt not rightly placed.
Like, it was a bad line.
See, personally, I actually sided with Winter in this scenario. I like that she said that.
It was the truth from well, I mean, it was the truth, but she was like playing on her own perspective versus his perspective, in which I also agree with Winter. But yeah,
I do also have issues with even Winter's side of it, though, because it's like she only turned against him at the very end. She was complicit in most of what he did, and she actually supported his decision making through most of what he did. Like, she's talking about cutting off the kingdom from the other ones. Like, she was fully on his side and assisting him with that process. It wasn't until the bomb that she fully changed. So it feels like a line that just doesn't fit as well.
That's a valid point.
So then we go back to the Cinder fight. She's fighting Weiss and Penny, so I guess Weiss was in no danger. So that made me sad. But then Blake jumps into their aid, and they have a whole little squabble.
The whole interaction of kind of, in my opinion, of Weiss and Blake kind of being more of the center focus, I really enjoyed that.
I really like the Cinder power up because I felt like I don't know. I just felt like she wasn't really putting out this whole time, but today this episode she really pulled out. She really pulled out all the stops.
I think this episode and the last episode, she showed just how much of a better fighter, or how much of a fighter she actually is.
She's become more mature with her abilities.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, is anybody else not a little a little upset with the fact that she went from like level 5 to level 20, like in just a few episodes? I mean,
Well, so it's kind of not that, because she went from level 20 to level 5 back to level 20.
okay, it makes sense.
She got
but
that nerve because she beat Oz. Like
She killed Oz. She killed Pyrrha. She fought. Was there anyone else? I guess no. RWBY and her didn't really fight. But she did that back to back. And then when she fought Raven, she just it was a decent fight. Then she got bested, and then she went to fight Winter and Penny in Volume 7, and then she just got her ass handed to her.
Yeah, it's almost like when I don't know. It's like like Mike said, she got nerfed hard, and maybe it had to do with her confidence. I don't know, but she seemed more confident in the last couple of episodes, even before fighting anybody. And then she gets in this fight, or she gets in this whole fight here, and she is just wailing on them. And it's like it's a 3v1, and she's kicking their ass.
She's reacting how a maiden should react. A maiden who's had this power for longer than Penny.
See, that's what I was going to say is she understands the maiden's power and is using it to its full potential. Well, maybe not full potential, but she's showing that she has been able to hone in on the abilities and really make use of her extended powers.
But it's just weird that they went from you're great, you're bad, you're great, and then with Penny it was like you're great, and then now you're greater with the maiden powers, and now you're not so great with the maiden powers anymore. I don't know if it has anything to do with the fact that she's not a robot anymore. Maybe that's what it is. But I mean, Penny was literally chasing her around a few episodes back, and now they're being chased. It's shoes on a completely different foot.
So we continue on. The fight gets cut away from, and we watch Crow and Harriet fighting. So this is where I had my biggest issue with the whole episode.
All right.
The last episode, Crow has the thing, looks like you're going to get that fight you wanted after all. And in this episode, can't we just talk this through? You're making a mistake, Harriet. I care about Clover, too.
Why did you just...
The voice you just... Yeah.
What's the matter?
Batman?
But I think the voice is actually pretty accurate, isn't it?
That's
Yes.
pretty damn close.
It's pretty damn close. I thought the same thing. I mean, I didn't think about it to that level. I personally enjoyed that it was one of the first times that we saw maybe Harriet and Crow, and I would argue some of the more attack-heavy, talk-less characters really take a moment and be like, I don't know, and kind of almost like argue it out. It was nice to see it. It was nice to have that little bit of a change. It did show a little bit more maturity in Harriet that we haven't necessarily seen before.
Yeah, but it's just like the writing as a whole for everything that goes on with this group, I just didn't really like.
I just don't like the back and forth. At 1 second they're like, I agree with Connor. 1 second it's like they're this in this direction, and then the next episode they're completely different direction. It doesn't make any sense.
It's one of the things that I hate the most about shows that have a variety of writers that they pull in, and you typically see it in like comedies. It's I don't know. Let's use Big Bang Theory as an example. I don't know if anyone here actually watches it.
I've watched every episode.
But you'll have characters in one episode where it's like Sheldon, he's the staple. Or in one episode, he's an apathetic, completely emotionless robot. In the next episode, because it's got a different writer and they want him to feel something, it's just like, well, wait a second. Now, I feel sad. It's just like it's out of character. It doesn't make sense from episode to episode, but it's a comedy, so it doesn't really matter for Big Bang Theory. But in this show where it's more of a drama and action, it feels wrong when you see it.
I think those are valid points. I think you bring up a good point, I guess. Yeah.
I also hate the writing a little bit further on here, where Harriet, so she like slams the back of the jet to have the bomb start going out, and Crow goes to stop the bomb, and Harriet, instead of like kicking him away like she's been doing to everyone in these last 2 episodes,
Hey,
she just
get out of the way, Mimi.
Yeah,
It's like,
get out of the way. It's like, just hit him.
Yeah,
What the fuck are you doing?
Throw his ass off. I don't know. Kick him. Do something. Don't just watch him. Don't make any sense.
Get to the other side and run faster than him to push it off.
Oh no, you don't.
There are ways that she could have easily done that. It's just like in other episodes where it's like Ruby could have easily saved this person's life but didn't with her semblance. It doesn't make any sense why it wouldn't happen.
So then Robin's ship arrives to try and grapple onto their jet. Elm is there. I guess she was with Robin the whole time.
Yeah, I was like, where did she come from?
See, yeah. I was kind of asking myself the same thing, but I was like, maybe I just missed something. I don't know.
No, she wasn't there, and then she was. But I mean, it didn't clarify it.
I mean, she's there. She's helping Vine pull the ship down, and they're talking. They're trying to talk sense into Harriet, saying, we're doing this. We're trying to stop you right now. Please don't do this. And we're doing this because you're our friend. Because we don't want to see you. We don't want to see you fall like so many other people have recently.
Ironwood.
Yeah, and then the jet starts going to fall again, and that's when Crow pulls out the clover pin, and you see the bomb like unnaturally tilts to the side, catching itself in some crazy freak of luck incident.
Yeah,
which I like. Hold on,
but instead of going to grab the bomb and try to stop it, I'm just gonna hold on to this and hope.
My question is, was that really Clover's semblance then, or did he just have a magic item? Because Crow is pure bad luck. That is his whole thing. He is bad luck. That is his semblance. That should not have happened. But if that's a magic item that overrules that, that's my question. Did Clover really have that as a semblance, or did he maybe not have a specific semblance? He was just a really good fighter, and he was bestowed a magic item.
Not good enough, apparently.
Well, you know what? True. True.
He wasn't.
His luck ran out.
I think it's honestly just a power of friendship anime moment and nothing more.
Spirit of Clover.
That's fair. I'm not going to argue too much. I thought it was beautiful, that kind of like an homage type thing.
Yeah, it absolutely did not make sense that Crow pulled out the pin instead of running up to it. But I did enjoy the callback to Clover, and I did enjoy the luck.
Yep. Well, and if you notice too, Harriet's like, she notices when he pulls it out too.
Yeah.
That maybe he's not just full of shit, just talking to her type thing.
And I think that's good for her. It's still, I still hate the fact that, Crow is absolutely responsible for Clover's death, but the writers are just trying to push it off. Like, no, it's fine. It's okay. He's a good guy. But anyway, then as everyone's like resting or breathing easy for a moment, we cut to Watts and we see that he is starting the timer on that bomb. You want to just finish this side of the story?
Sure,
that's fine. I think it makes it easier to be on one track.
I love this part, by the way. This part gave me all kinds of feels in that in the discussion or in the React video. I was like, "Oh my god, no!"
Yeah. Harriet has the realization that like, I have killed us all. There is no way that we're gonna all be able to make it out of the blast range. She's blaming herself. She regrets her actions, and that's when Vine, very calmly and plainly, makes the call to sacrifice himself. He sends Harriet down to Elm. Crow passes by and gets on the other ship. And he uses his semblance to extend his arms out and make a whole wrap around the ship to contain the bomb.
It gave me so much more respect for him. Like, I gained a lot of respect for him last episode. I gained so much more this time.
Didn't make me gain any respect for him. You know why? Because I already fucking respected him.
That's fair.
I've always loved Vine. I've always loved most of the Aesops.
I've always liked his character, but I haven't liked his placement in the show.
Once we get to the end of the episode, I will be calling back this moment, just so y'all know, because there's something I want to bring up from a writing perspective.
All
It's
right.
all good.
But then we go back to the fight with Cinder, and more specifically, back to Neo, where she is just tap dancing on RWBY in classic Neo fashion.
Yep.
And I'm happy to see it.
But she's not that
But,
great. She got punched. So.
Oh, God, I fucking hate that. But then Weiss comes to her aid. Yeah.
My issue is this the part where she loses her weapon? Or are we not there yet?
It comes on this part.
Pretty much that same bit, yeah.
Okay. So when RWBY loses her weapon and it's falling into the abyss, what does she do?
She reaches.
She
out
uses her
towards it.
semblance. But she couldn't do it to her fucking sister?
Cinder ends up doing that big blast that knocks Weiss out of the way, knocks RWBY off. RWBY slams into the ground, and then Crescent Rose falls off. But RWBY does not use her semblance here to go get the sword, to go get the scythe.
Doesn't she?
No.
No.
She uses it in a few seconds later to attack Neapolitan, but
You're right. I fucked up there. You're right.
So continuing on from this moment, Neo goes to attack RWBY, and this is when RWBY uses her semblance to zoom around under the path that they're on to get the jump on Neo, knocking Neo out of the way. But Neo's able to catch her grip, hanging right off the edge, dangling, and that's when Cinder knocks RWBY off. And RWBY is able to grab Neo and hold herself up. And then Neo reaches up, it's like, "Oh, Cinder, bestie, you're gonna save." Oh, you're here for the lamp. Oh, you've kicked my umbrella off. Oh.
Did you see her expression there? I was like,
Oh.
oh my god.
That was the look of, you just fucked up.
I just
Yeah.
wonder why she didn't use her semblance.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't know how her semblance works really, but I mean, couldn't she have used her semblance and then hopped up? She's very acrobatic. Hopped up there by herself, use her semblance, get away. I don't know.
Her semblance doesn't help her do that. It just makes illusions. So it wouldn't actually help her get up. And with her being hung on by RWBY, she can't pull herself up, but you could argue in the moment beforehand she could have, or she could have used her semblance to have RWBY not grab her.
That would have been clutch.
That would have been clutch
goes
if she would have
grab
used it right before she grabbed her, and then she would have grabbed onto
nothing.
whatever glass or whatever she turns into, and then breaks off, and then she's just smiling, ha ha ha,
Oh,
bitch.
snap.
Yeah.
That would have been cool, but no, it didn't happen.
Dang.
Yep. And this is the moment that I really realized, oh, Cinder, you're still a terrible fucking character. I hate you so much.
Pushed yourself right back over. She's like, the writers were like, "Hey, now let's make her just straight up evil. It's okay."
I hate it so much more because it's like Penny in last episode. She says, I can't remember what the line was. It's like, haven't you learned your lesson? And then she has the whole thing. I have learned, Penny. I do know. I am better now. I have friends here to back me up.
Gets rid of
And
it gets rid of the friends.
Gets rid of all of her friends.
So it's just clearly Cinder was just doing it all as a means to an end, which is par for the course for her character. I just wish that she had a good character. While Neo and RWBY are falling, Blake goes to save RWBY, but Cinder then damages her weapon, cutting the tether that is tying Blake on to the ground with RWBY, and then Blake, RWBY, and Neo all fall into the abyss. So we continue on. Weiss is now wielding Blake's weapon, tears in her eyes, shooting at Cinder.
Yeah, I was wondering about that because she had her weapon still. So why was she
Yeah.
using Blake's? It didn't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all.
She was testing
But
out
it's,
her golden thing.
It's a cute moment. It's a cute scene, her with the tears shooting at her. Jean, this is when he really comes back into the play. He sends Nora through the vacuole portal saying, "Go get back allies. Get May, Joanna, any huntsman that you can back through the gate so we can do this." Oh, Oh, you poor, poor man.
Little did he know.
Yeah. But shortly after, we get a scene that Travis was wanting, sort of. Jean gets the jump on Cinder.
It was cool. I really enjoyed that moment, and then I was like, the rest of the fight, I'm like, oh, okay.
It was like, I was like, oh, it's about to get started. Like John comes in, hits him. I was like, oh, and then
And not, I mean, when he jumps off and he like sets up, you're like, oh man, it's about to go down.
Yes.
John's gonna get her. But
There's
nah,
a
it was-
continuity error with that, though. Jean, right before that, was in front of the vacuum gate.
took him. He got there really quick, didn't he?
Yeah.
But I mean, he does have that shield fly thing.
But that's a glide and not a fly.
I mean,
You can't go up with that.
yeah, you got a point.
He was going
there.
at light speed.
Unless he used his gravity, but I don't know how that works when it comes to that kind of stuff.
I mean, I guess you could argue he places on the ground and can bounce up, but he was a ways up there. It was just a little continuity error that I realized watching that made me feel like, wait, what the fuck? How does? Okay. Oh yeah, he gets that little jump on Cinder. As brief it is, fucking Christ, as brief as it is. That's cool. But then
Cinder
Cinder's
gets
arm
the-
freaks out. Goes, oh, mommy's back.
Uh-huh. And then Mike's worst moment ever.
Cinder divides the remaining fighters and stabs her hand into Penny. It's a tragic, tragic scene. As Weiss goes to fend Cinder off, Penny, heartfelt, dying, asks Jean to do the only thing he can do for her. He can't save her anymore, she's too far gone. But he can make sure that she controls who the next maiden is.
And that
was
right there,
such a powerful scene.
a powerful scene. That right there, 100% made him 20 times a leader than RWBY ever was.
And not even just a leader, just like from his character aspect to like who he's modeled after, and like his morals, is like his own character morals. It just kind of like all came into play. He's like, all right, this moment you have to choose between doing your best to try and save her, which is gonna probably fail, or making that choice to sacrifice her so that she can have her own choice.
So Jean goes through with it. He kills Penny. Just as it happens, we see Ironwood bests Winter in the other fight. But as Cinder's freaking out, where did it go? Where did it go? We cut to the White Void with the real theme of death.
It was
Where
cool
Penny.
to see this work out.
Salutation.
Yeah, I like the callback one more time for his salutations.
I 100% disagreed with her choice, though. I know why they did it. I disagreed in the moment.
For
Who
her
did you-
choosing Winter.
Yep.
Well,
Who did you
who was
want
she
to-
gonna choose?
Weiss, who's
Weiss.
literally right there fighting to protect John so that she can do this. Weiss, who's been fighting Cinder almost alone to protect her team. Weiss is right there in front of her in distress, pretty much losing to Cinder right in front of her eyes. Winter. That's who I'm going to go with. I get it, because that's who it, as she says it, you were technically supposed to be the one who this was for you. This was your power. This is what Ironwood trained you to be. We're friends. Here you go. I hated it. I get why they did it and how they put it into play, but this is the 1% I hated of this fucking episode. It should have gone to Weiss because of the situation they were in. She was staring right fucking at Weiss, looking at, well, she was looking at John, but Weiss was right there, literally fighting one of these, arguably with the writers in this time, arguably one of the strongest people in front of them. There's no reason it shouldn't have gone to Weiss.
I think.
rant.
All right. So my just like 2 cents to that is, I think, and I could be absolutely wrong here, I think she chose her partially because she's probably stronger than Weiss.
Yes, but in that moment, does it make sense for her to be thinking about Winter last? with Weiss right there in distress in front of her.
Well,
Yeah,
that's what she did with John. That's what she's like. Let me make the choice.
Yeah,
Kill me now so I
Zach,
can
let her
do
make
it.
the choice.
So she was like, all right. Then when he killed her, like she already knew in mind who she wanted. Not she's panicking. All right,
Okay,
I'm about to
that's
die.
fair. That one little that aspect right there does make sense in the moment, but I still don't understand why she wouldn't have done Weiss in that situation.
Or there's another situation, or there's another callback. Remember a couple episodes ago when she said she wanted to give it to Ruby?
She did say that as well.
Yeah,
She did say that.
that maybe it doesn't go with my Weiss statement, but there again is another reason why Winter doesn't make sense.
Well,
So I think-
Ruby would have, or sorry,
I don't think Ruby would have been a good choice.
Well, Ruby would have been. She thought she died at that point because she fell off. So I think she wouldn't. She thought she had already died.
So if you're trying to keep the maiden powers out of Cinder's hands, I don't think it makes sense to give it to Weiss, because it could potentially make Weiss stronger, but you're still dealing with someone who is a better fighter than you and a maiden. Giving it to Weiss could have also, it was dangerous. I think it was too much of a risk of
liability.
losing yourself.
Well, yeah, because she just probably she was watching Weiss get her butt kicked this whole time
Yeah.
by the maiden, and then you're going to give the maiden powers to someone that's getting their butt kicked by the maiden already.
Heck,
To be
yes.
fair,
Let's-
Winter
let's
lost
give it
to
to-
maidens.
Yeah, but let's give it to Winter, who is somewhere else right now that's not right in front of where the maiden is.
And Cinder was able to hold her own against Cinder, even though she wasn't a maiden. Like, she lost in the end, yes, but she was still holding her ground pretty damn well. Versus Weiss, who has pretty much been on the run pretty consistently.
Uh-huh.
Plus, I think it makes sense from their relationship. They had plenty of good moments together in the previous volume, especially.
I'm going with Weiss.
I definitely think that she is more friends with Winter than she is Weiss. You don't see her with Weiss as much as she was with Winter, and the only other person arguably that she'd be closer to would be Ruby, but like Mike said, she didn't know if Ruby was dead or alive. There's
I'm
a lot
so
of
happy it didn't go to Ruby.
yeah, there's
I
a
can't-
lot
Oh,
of
I would have been livid if it went to Ruby.
Why didn't she give it to Nora? No.
Rip.
I'm just kidding. Don't bring that up. Let's move on.
Just a random side note. Anybody notice how her attire was entirely different? Like Winter's inside of like the little white space.
Was it?
Is
Yeah.
it?
It's like her old attire, like prior to like the events of
Oh, yeah.
this whole bit that's happening now. Before she got like
I didn't
injured and
notice
all
that. That is nice.
Cascading into this next part. So can someone like explain to me, because I might have missed something, why Ironwood says so like what was he just saying, like her being defeated was like the destiny he chose for her?
No,
Or
No,
getting
did
the
he
he
maiden
somehow
intended
have
for her
some
to become the
premonition?
maiden.
Or does that have like a visual effect, or like
Yeah, she like
Oh,
started
how
floating.
he could see.
before it happened, right? Like, did he have a premonition, or did something actually happen? Because I don't remember from the last transfer, like if something visually actually happens for you to be able to notice.
Penny
that.
got up and flames came out of her eyes, and people were like, "Oh shit, yeah, boom!" But
Well, that was afterwards, though. Like-
Yeah, I think Mike, I think what you're saying is fair. It absolutely, there was no indicator that she was the maiden until she started floating.
You're right.
did he just was he saying like him defeating her though? Like that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like,
Well, you see, Mike, Ironwood is just such a good character. He can feel protagonism.
his iron will let him will through normal vision and can see maiden vision.
Now, I know we're making fun of this part a little bit, but I mean, I actually really like this part because of the line that was said. It was like, so finally, what I wanted you to happen is like, no, fuck you. This was a gift. It had anything to do with you. Fuck you.
and it slapped him.
You could say that, and yeah, she could say that. It's a very, power moment of I chose this. But at the same time, this is literally what Ironwood prepped her for.
And then uses his own power against him by summoning a reflection or ice reflection thing. That was fucking cool. I liked it.
And she launches attacks straight back at him. I was thinking he was dead right there.
But he survived, so maybe Jock survived.
There's that one, like, a higher bit of flame. Maybe Jacques' body was right behind that.
Right.
We didn't get the themes of death warning with the last episode. It's possible.
Now he awakened his semblance, which is teleportation.
That could be. I thought
That's why
about that
there's no
after the
trees.
after the discussion.
This was I was so irritated that he didn't die. Like, literally in the fact that Jacques died, but not him. It didn't make sense to me.
Especially
That's the
since
power of plot.
he was shooting through stuff that
He was shooting through a barrier.
Yeah, through shields to get barriers to get to him.
But Ironwood's like, my iron will is stronger than hard light dust.
Ironwood takes much strength in the
I
face.
refuse to die.
Now, granted,
sacrifice
Ironwood's a fighter, and Jacques isn't. He's a businessman, so maybe that has something to do with it. But
yeah, the only thing I could possibly even translate this is semblant or his aura, but his aura was already depleted, so I don't know what to say. Like, maybe he got a little bit back and just like kind of deflected it. Maybe he just dodged in the last second, and an explosion hit the ground and made it all
plot.
His balls took the brunt of the blast. So he was like he was castrated, but he was still alive.
GG. You know what? Maybe he shot a second blast at the last second, which just blew both blasts up, and he just got knocked back. All right, I'm dead. I'm stop. Right.
So we continue on. Cinder is now attacking Jean, furious at him. They have a sword clash, real powerful, emotional, and Jean's weapon breaks in two.
With the blade,
even
with
more
the blood
emotional
still on it.
It's even more emotional considering that part of that weapon is Pyrrha's armor.
I was gonna say, I think that's the most detrimental part of that.
I think that's the last weapon that breaks in this episode,
Oh, yeah.
or that is lost. But then Winter has joined the fight. Shoots like electric ice lasers. Was cool effect. Shout out to Mike's My Hero character.
It's the same.
It's a brief but cool little tiny maiden fight. Cinder ends up still maintaining the one up in the whole thing.
And it makes sense for her too, because Winter's never had maiden powers before. And Cinder's had it all this time.
Yeah.
Although you wouldn't think that with the fight at first, because it looks like she's literally holding her own and summoning all these powers. It's just like, do you just know from previous owners? Like, are they telling you do this, do that, or is it just like it's weird?
Well, Penny is there with her.
That's what she said.
But Cinder, seeing that Jean and Weiss are now about to get away, she targets them. Winter freaks out, dashing to their aid. However, Weiss is knocked off the edge, and she has fallen. Jean is still up with his aura broken. What's up?
This is one of my favorite parts, and it's just because of the music part of it.
That music was.
It shows her going towards her eyes. She's crying, and then all of a sudden she looks up with fire in her eyes, and it's just like din 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 din. You're like, oh shit, get her, But it was a great moment.
Yeah, it is I enjoyed it. But Cinder, still, luckily this whole fight, maintaining the upper hand, she picks up the staff, and we discover that she is using it for a purpose. The world around them starts to collapse, and they all have to retreat. Winter runs. Winter makes her way to Vacuo. Cinder makes her way back through the mantle portals, and Jean is a little bit slower, and it crumbles underneath him, and he falls as well.
Yeah, I got nervous during this part.
Oh, I was like,
I had hurry up, boy.
Yep, my adrenaline was pumping with him.
So that is everyone who has fallen. All of Team RWBY, Neo, and Jean. As well as a few random civilians.
So RWBY's team has now added someone, so they have to change the name.
Jeez. All in different spots, I think. Because none of them actually fell. Well, I guess Blake and Ruby are actually in the same spot.
Yeah, we don't know any about it. We'll get to what little we know towards the end here. So then we cut to Vacuo, where winter has finally arrived. The protagonists are fending off the Grim. We even see that one contest winner, Grim. Shows up very
GG.
briefly in the final
Yeah,
episode.
Does it really? Wow, I didn't even notice.
Yeah, that was the little crawling things that were with the Ravagers.
Mm-hmm.
And Winter proceeds to start helping everybody, I assume. It's like she's going to kill the Grim, but I thought the whole point of the man being there was to, like, quell the storm. I don't know. It cuts away and we don't see anything. But what we do see is a cut to the vault, where Ironwood is still alive on the ground and Cinder is approaching him. As the black smoke monster from Lost enters the room.
GG.
I thought the same thing.
I don't like that that's a thing she can do. No, because, like, why not use that in other situations?
Like while fighting?
Like
Maybe
while
she can only-
fighting or just traveling quicker.
I mean, when you're immortal, you might as well, take things the sweet life. But when the world's crumbling around you and you have people waiting on you, you might as well do it quick. I mean, I get it.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, well, she's going there. It's revealed that the smoke monster is Salem. And Cinder starts lying about everything that's happened. Some of it's the truth, or at least what she believes to be the truth. She talks about how Ruby's dead, how the question has been used, but she, of course, omits who used the question, or what the staff was most recently used to create. And Salem just kind of buys it, hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah.
Good job.
I was surprised that she didn't go, like, did she really ask the question? Like, type thing. With the staff, I can understand a little bit more, but it was more of the lamp aspect. I was like, if Salem really wanted that lamp and to figure out how to do it, like, I feel like she would have been angrier.
Here's the question she could have asked. How do you know the last question was asked?
Good point too.
I tried to summon it. Oh, did you now?
Okay, so you tried to summon it. What's the name?
She was
Let me ask her myself.
She's like, you got both relics? All right, let's go.
Your last question. I'm out of questions, bitch. I will kill you. Okay, all right, calm down. Free question, here you go.
Only one
now. And Celeb's just happy that she's got the relics, and as she goes to walk away, Ironwood, seeing this happen, goes for his gun. But Cinder and Salem, or Cinder specifically, just smiles and says, "And that's checkmate." A callback to the chess piece that was left on his, table or on his desk, and that was left as her calling card back in Beacon. And then they fly away, and Ironwood just kind of falls limp.
I was a little irritated that she didn't kill him.
I was irritated that Ironwood didn't immediately shoot.
what is he lining up for? Like, were you gonna shoot Salem? She can't die. Were you gonna shoot Cinder? She's probably gonna dodge it. You gonna shoot a relic out her hands? She's gonna grab it. Like,
but you can still try.
I really wanted him to at least try. Like, I thought he would die here, like climbing to his feet, shooting Salem, and Salem would just turn around like, "Really? You're really gonna try this?" And Ironwood having his final moment of, "I made the decision to stand against you, and I will do it to my final breath."
No, his Iron Will turned into Iron Chicken, bitch, and he didn't do shit. Wanna why? Because he sucks.
GG.
Yeah.
Here's his face right here.
Useless villain.
GG.
And we get a glimpse as to what Cinder used the Staff of Creation for. She sealed Watts into a room of fire.
Yeah, I was not expecting that. I was like,
dude, they did
it
him
pissed me off,
dirty.
too.
They
Yeah.
did him dirty. It was an easy way to get rid of him. It's like they couldn't think of anything better. They're like, trap him in flames. You mean the hacker who can't just unseal a fucking door and a path out? Nah, he'll burn. He's stuck.
Yeah,
Stupid.
yeah. I'm going to talk about that more in a little bit here.
I think it was lazy, personally, but
yeah, I'm going to talk about all the deaths and potential deaths here in just a minute. But let's just finish the episode here first, shall we?
Yeah.
So Atlas falls that down onto Mantle as this is happening, and then for some reason a flood happens.
So, yes, I don't know why exactly, but in this image I just posted, and the pool of Grim, I think were probably the cause, but I'm not honestly not sure. That's the only thing I can even sum up from this. And the
Only
fact
thing
that
I
maybe
can
there
think
was
of is some sort of dam break, or with the crash down, some forces within the earth or something. I don't know.
But it's
It.
like, yeah, maybe.
I was confused too because nowhere have we ever seen water being like a big part of the city. We never saw uh, a dam or anything. I mean, we saw kind of like the dust mines. We saw being down in Mantle. We saw the slums. But there was never anything in a dam, and it just seems so random.
Yeah.
Like, let's add more turmoil.
It felt like a way to, like, and everyone's dead. See?
GG.
And that's really all that felt like to me. I don't really like the flood, but it was what it was. While it's happening, we see Crow's panicking, trying to communicate. You can kind of make out the words "Ruby" on his mouth,
Yeah.
so that's obviously what he's panicking about.
That music though, I was like, yeah, it fell.
And
Jeff Williams and team did very well.
yeah. And then we have the credits, and last but not least in the episode, we have an after-credit scene where we see Ruby's Crescent Rose scythe on a beach. It's panning up from the ocean pan or flowing into something. We see some weird tropical area, and then we pan up to see a rainbow tree,
And
which I'm going to assume is called Yggdrasil.
we don't know what this place is, right? It's
Nope,
never
this
like
is
okay. Making sure, because I was like looking at it, I'm like, I don't think we're supposed to have known this place before. Like, is this kind of like an in-between world or something like that? That's what I wanted to kind of.
Dude, it
No.
looks like they
Oh
got
my god,
back
it's
in
gonna be
time.
like SAO with the fairy world. They gotta go save someone at the top of the tree, but they gotta game break it.
what were you saying, Trev?
It looks like they went back in time.
Oh, that's a good theory.
That would be interesting. I don't think that's right, but that'd be interesting.
That'd be a really cool theory to explore, Travis. I like that idea. I am with Connor. I don't know if it actually will happen. They're not that creative. Come on now. But hey,
It's, I think that there are three possibilities for it, but I was also wrong about what falling would do last time, so take all this with a grain of salt. There's either Yggdrasil, which is the tree of life, so this might be some place where life begins and ends.
Like
So there's
where
like a
the
realm of death. What was it?
oh no, I was gonna say like where like the like that one tree was in where the God of Light was.
And so that's the other possibility. This could be the God of Light's old lake that we saw in the past, because we know the God of Dark has his lake that Salem is in control of.
Oh.
This could be what has happened to that lake, and I think that's the most likely possibility.
Mm.
Or it could also be what Zach theorized last time. They might be in now a realm of the gods. This might be something that the God of Light and God of Dark have been working on, and maybe they will meet them here.
Yeah, it's so. I think in my react, I said when all of Team RWBY pretty much fell, I was like, well, Connor's right. But then we got to this, and I'm like, well, we might be both right.
So I'm sure we're gonna have some big side story involving Team RWBY, Neo, and Jean. Hopefully, we'll get some backstory for Neo and Roman. Hopefully, we'll understand why Jean is like an important character, and hopefully, we'll have some good growing and character moments for Team RWBY.
And that's when John and Neo end up together.
Oh my god.
Neo disguises herself to look like Pyrrha,
GG.
and then they fuck on screen.
They change up.
Wow.
M. Night Shyamalan twist that's referenced in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Full penetration on screen. It's gonna be great.
GG.
God damn.
Okay, so I've got a couple of callbacks here. So first off, to Vine. So Vine died for nothing. I just want that to be clear.
As in, like, the distance you were looking at was outside of the blast radius, from what they had said.
As in, if the bomb fell on the city and blew up the city, it wouldn't have mattered because in the end, the city flooded.
Okay.
If they had just let the bomb fall, Vine could have survived. So from a writing perspective, it was a sacrifice that didn't need to happen.
However,
Well, in that case, he did save his teammates or companions.
No, if they dropped the bomb, that would have gotten them out of the blast radius.
well, did they know though that everyone was leaving out of those portals? Because I think the whole time they were actually like gone.
Well,
So-
I mean, there's plenty of rationalization there. I'm saying from a writing perspective, from a meta perspective, not from their character perspectives. From the plot overall, he sacrificed himself for nothing.
All right, gotcha. Just like
And
in the intro,
I
song,
don't-
it's like,
Yeah, I just don't like that. And then the other thing is, so who is dead? Ironwood and Watts. Are they dead?
I mean, you don't know.
and Hazel. Probably, but
I think Hazel's pretty fucking dead.
You know, Penny's
I
definitely
didn't
dead.
see him die. No, it's
Penny's definitely dead.
It's-
100%. She has to be
So
dead,
it's
unfortunately.
where Watts was, everything was lit aflame. So water coming in would put out the fire. Is he able to break free with that?
I feel
Or
like
is he
would
completely
still
sealed
drown
in?
now. Yeah, I think he's dead.
And Ironwood, is he dead? He's in the vault, deep into the whole mess of everything. There's a hole at the bottom.
I feel like I don't know because I feel like he would have died in that scenario. But are there reasons that he could have survived? Sure. And same with Watts, but like I don't know, like I don't know, like I feel like both of them should die, since circumstantially
And-
they should.
And if they are dead, I fucking hate that is how they both died. These are two of my favorite characters throughout the history of the show.
Mhm.
And they both died like fucking punk ass
Chumps.
bitches.
Yeah, like some
They were
chumps.
drowned by a flood in the middle of the Arctic where we've never seen a fucking water or dam. Well, it has like ice, but that's on the surface level. That's not enough to cause a flood. As a matter of fact, looking at that same picture, looking back behind the mountains, there's no reason that much water should come down at all. It doesn't fucking make sense. Maybe it's part of the staff of creation. Who knows? It just doesn't make any sense to me. So then there's also two other characters I want to call back that we haven't seen in a while. Maria and Pietro.
There you go. Where have they been?
The last time we saw them, they were on Amity as it was falling. So are they dead? Are they alive? Are they going to save Watts and Ironwood? Are they all dead? Are they going to be meeting up with Team Crow that's over there right now? Any theories?
I mean, we haven't seen him in a long time.
I assume that they were just part of a giant big group who went through the portal. Honestly,
It's just weird that they didn't do a reference to them at all. At
Yeah,
least,
it's-
Is it
and
weird
they would've-
especially-
is it
No,
weird though?
I mean, yeah, kind of. In last episode of the series, they don't even do a single reference, like even like a. Well, like there they are, just for like a brief second. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, that's a valid point. I don't know. I really don't have a theory. At this point, I don't know.
I think they went to the portal.
I really hope that Ironwood and Watts aren't dead. I hope that Pietro and Maria are, for whatever reason, looking for them, looking for people to save lives, and that for whatever reason those two have survived. Even though I don't think it. I think Ironwood and Watts have died like punk ass bitches.
It's a way to
I
get.
just
It's
hope
a way to
I'm
write.
It wouldn't surprise me if Ironwood were to be alive. That one, I could see the writers keeping him going further. But Watts, I think, is pretty clear to be dead.
They did him nasty.
They did him super dirty.
He was like, "Y'all gonna."
They found a dirt pile, put some water on that shit, and made that shit mud. That dirty.
Rest in peace, Watts.
Like someone made. I was looking at pictures of Atlas to see if there was any picture of like a dam or anything. Someone made a makeshift Atlas in Terraria.
GG. Rip. Yeah, I didn't see any water. I do like remember like there was like that pool of Grim that was coming through like the rocks, but there wasn't any water in there. It was all like Grim. It was like it was like a river of Grim. It wasn't.
Yeah, this is like staff of creation is the only thing that makes sense. For that in my mind. Also, plot holes are now going to be abundant. Because so if that staff is able to create things just anywhere when you use it, Salem now has that staff. She should just be able to make all of Vacuo sink into like a fucking quicksand pit.
She can do whatever the fuck she wants.
So I just want to throw that out there. I hope you're ready. For the next season, I'm gonna point out plot holes galore for that.
I guess technically she could just like open the portal to the other
to the
academy.
other vaults.
Yeah, I was like,
That'd be
just break
the
through the vaults.
greatest. That'd be the greatest thing. They finally get into Vacuo, into the Shade Academy. They open the vault to get the fucking sword, and it's just gone with a note from Cinder. It's just like a picture of her with a middle finger.
GG.
I would love that.
I was like, well, dang. But I guess there are like consequences. Obviously, I don't know how heavy this consequence is going to be, because the exact thing that maybe it's ironic. The exact thing he told them not to do, they ended up doing. So yeah, I want to see how bad is this going to be, or is something good going to happen out of this?
Mine's just now thinking back to the potential deaths. No body, no death. Jacques is still alive. Ironwood's alive. Watt's alive. Adam's alive. Who else?
We didn't see him die.
Clover definitely had a body, so Clover's dead. That's a shame.
GG. Yeah, technically we didn't see Vine die. We just saw his thing disappear.
Oh yeah, Vine. Yeah, Vine's alive.
Technically, we didn't see Hazel die either. Just saying.
Didn't see Hazel die.
Wait, why did Vine just like put his semblance around the bomb and drop it down and then?
And I was trying to think about that, but I was like, I think it has to come from inside. It's the way he made it like wrap around like that.
That could be.
But if not, I mean, I didn't even know he could do
Hazel's
that. I was
alive.
like,
Lionheart's alive.
Bill wasn't.
Bill's
shown.
alive. What if Bill? Oh, but I would love it if like Watts, we cut the next volume, like Watts is just like banging on the door as the fire's been put out because of the water, and he's like sealed in, and then just like Bill, you see, opens up like a bathroom. Like, yeah, sorry I was gone for so long. I really had to go. What happened?
That would be ironic.
GG.
I'd love that. No way in hell it's gonna happen. Bill's dead. But Bill's alive because no body. All right. Anything else anyone else needs to say, or should we get to ratings?
Ratings.
One small thing. I think we should do like a theory video like next week or something, since it's all over anyway, and I don't want to take up too much time here.
We could do a season in review, talk about theories and things like that as a whole.
Well, why don't we do what we did last time and do the top 10, least 10, and then do the rankings?
Right.
We can do theories during that as well, if need be.
Yeah. Our number one theory.
Yeah, we could do our whole season review as a whole and talk about theories there.
Yeah.
All right. Ratings. Zach.
This would have been a 10, but I'm giving it a 9 purely because of the Ironwood not dying and giving it to Winter.
Okay. Travis.
I'm gonna give it a 10. I really enjoyed this episode.
Okay.
Get out of here.
It's my first 10 of the season.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay. If I look back in the history and this is wrong, you're gonna get a joke. Take that, Mike. You up?
I will give it a 9 out of 10. I know it's tough to give like do perfect works, and there were a few small things, but overall I enjoyed it. 9 out of 10.
But that puts a lot of pressure on me to give it a 9 as well, doesn't it?
I'm just a tough critic.
I'm gonna give it an 8. Really enjoyed it, but there was just too many writing issues for me. Yeah. Best boy and best girl, Zach.
Best boy, I'm going to give it to John for doing what needed to be done. And honestly, I'm going to give best girl to Weiss. I think the fact that she was able to do as much as she did, I'm stemming this a little bit of like from the last episode too, but the continuation of it, she held her fucking own. She did pretty damn fucking well in the situation she was put in for consistently being maybe sometimes ranked as one of the lower on the team and kind of being on the back end. I mean, she deserves it.
It's on Team RWBY right now.
The only person she's ever beat in a fight, Marrow.
Fair enough.
She didn't
Unless
die to a maiden.
Did she beat another person in a fight this season?
Probably.
Because she didn't beat Cinder. No, I think her only victory is against Marrow, and that was before Marrow realized he can use his semblance at the start of fights.
Jesus.
What?
Travis.
Yeah, I'm gonna give best girl to Winter, just because there was a, you know what? I don't know. I'm trying to think. Winter or Penny? Winter or Penny? Winter or Penny?
Well, while you're deciding that, how about the best boy?
Best boy, I'm gonna give it to Vine, because I know that you said it was for nothing, but I feel like he did that to save his teammates.
Yeah, it makes sense for his character. I'm just saying from an overall plot level, I didn't like it.
And I love that he did it to save his teammates, because he knows what the bigger picture is and then what's more important. It was a very powerful moment. And then I think I'm gonna give it to Penny instead. I'm gonna keep it with dead people.
But no body, so Penny's alive as well.
Potentially dead. Yeah, but yeah, I like that Penny said we have to keep it out of Cinder's hands. You know what you have to do, and took the initiative.
All right, Mike.
Best boy, I gotta give it to Jean with an honorable mention for Vine, because like I said, that's definitely best girl. Since I'm not gonna get another chance ever, I have to give it to Penny
for dying.
Not for dying.
I meant to ask you something earlier, Mike. So how did you feel about the conclusion of your RWBY?
I was tempted to be like, you know what, I'm not showing up because there wasn't an episode this week, but but you know what, I woke up this morning and I was like, you know what, I'll just do it. I gotta move on. Penny is moving on. I gotta move on too.
Very mature of you, Mike.
GG. But if Penny didn't die, it would have gone to it probably would have gone to Winter. Yeah.
Well, then for me, my best boy was Vine as well.
No, Cinder.
Yeah. Vine and Jean were absolutely the MVPs of the guys this episode. There's no question about that. And my best girl is also going to be Penny. There were a lot of good girl characters in this episode, but I think Penny outshined them with her sacrifice.
I'm gonna have to watch this whole season and prior to find out where its water source is at.
Obviously, it came out of the crack in that glacier.
GG.
Maybe it's. God, I can't believe I would have made this dumb joke. Maybe that's just how wet Cinder was after killing everybody.
Jesus Christ!
Oh my goodness. GG. She was actually also runner-up for best girl. for coming for her actually going in a more
Yeah.
clear direction. GG.
It sucks that I hate Winter again. It sucks that she sucks again.
You said
Liked her for
Winter?
2 episodes. Sorry, Cinder.
Yeah.
Liked her for 2 episodes, and now she sucks again.
I
The bright
just
side,
don't-
she's gonna kill Emerald. Looking forward to that.
GG. Poor Emerald killing her. How would you like that?
I would not like that. I want Emerald to die. Emerald is genuinely one of my most hated characters in this show. But we're gonna end that on that note, shall we? Unless anybody else has something better to end on.
Hey, thanks for watching.
Forward to the next season.
Yeah, look forward to the next season.
Do we really
Um,
look forward to it?
You know, well, you can't look backwards to it.
Tune in next week to our top 10 best boy, best girl of the series.
We'll have one more discussion, talk about the volume as a whole. We'll have our best boys, our best girls, our top 10s, some best scenes, things like that. And we'll see you then for that finale. Otherwise, for these episode by episode reviews, we'll see you next year. I guess technically this year. We'll see you later this year. Really, really far down the road. Let's see.
Bye.
Bye.
Have one up a time.
Well, thank you for watching. Remember to hit that like button if you want to see more content like this. And if you want to see what the rest of our channel has to offer, be sure to subscribe. Looking for any ways to support us? Well, we currently aren't monetizable through YouTube. We do have a Patreon and even a merch store. So be sure to check those out. All of the links to these things are right in the description down below. And last but not least, we'll see you next time.